I never thought I'd be posting here, but I'm desperate for some outside perspective. This situation with my girlfriend has completely spiraled out of control, and I don't know what to do anymore. I, 24M, and my girlfriend Nicole, 23F, have been together for 2 years. We met through mutual friends at a college party, and everything clicked immediately. She was different from anyone I'd ever dated, kind, passionate about her work with kids, and seemed to really understand me. The first year and a half were amazing. We moved in together 6 months ago, and that's when everything started changing. The topic of kids came up casually at first. Nicole works as a preschool teacher, so it made sense that she talked about children. But over the last 6 months, it's become an obsession that's taking over our relationship. She doesn't just want kids, she wants them right now, and it's all she talks about. Some background about Nicole: she comes from a pretty messed up family situation. She's the youngest of 3 sisters, with a 9-year age gap between her and her middle sister, Claire, and 11 years between her and Rachel, the oldest. Her parents weren't exactly winning any awards for parenting by the time Nicole came along. Her dad worked 80-hour weeks at his construction company, and her mom struggled with severe depression after losing her own mother around the time Nicole was born. Nicole basically raised herself while watching her sisters get all the opportunities she never had. Rachel got dance lessons and summer camps, Claire got new clothes and college paid for, but by the time Nicole came along, her parents were emotionally and financially drained. She spent most of her childhood alone or being dragged to her sister's events, always feeling like an afterthought. Last month, Rachel announced she's pregnant with her first child. Ever since then, Nicole's baby fever has gotten worse. She's convinced herself that 23 is the perfect age for having kids because her mom had Rachel at 22. She keeps saying she doesn't want to be the old mom at school events and that waiting until 30 is basically ancient. She started buying baby clothes just in case and has a secret Pinterest board full of nursery ideas. She even picked out names, Noah for a boy and Lily for a girl, which honestly freaks me out because we haven't even discussed marriage yet. Now, here's my side of things. I want kids too, eventually. I've always seen myself as a father, and I think Nicole would be an amazing mom. But I'm in the middle of getting my engineering degree. I dropped out 3 years ago because of some personal issues, more on that later, and I'm finally back on track. I'll graduate when I'm 27, and I want to be established in my career before having children. My reasons for waiting go way deeper than just career stuff. My childhood was complicated. My parents were terrible with money. Dad lost his job at the bank when I was 12 after the 2008 crash, and we nearly lost our house. I remember finding my mom crying in the grocery store parking lot because she couldn't afford both food and my school supplies. They took out payday loans that spiraled out of control. We lived on ramen noodles and mac and cheese for months. My parents never directly blamed me for their money problems, but kids pick up on these things. I grew up feeling like every dollar spent on me was a burden on the family. This led to some really unhealthy behaviors in my teens. I started gambling at 17, thinking I could win enough to help my parents. Instead, I ended up with a serious addiction that I'm still working to overcome. I haven't placed a bet in 8 months, but the urge is still there, especially when I'm stressed. Nicole knows all this. She knows about my gambling history and my parents' financial struggles. She was incredibly supportive when I told her, which made me fall even harder for her. But now she acts like none of it matters. She says things like we'll figure it out and people make it work with less, but I can't imagine bringing a child into our current situation. We're barely making ends meet in our tiny 1-bedroom apartment. Nicole makes $32,000 a year as a preschool teacher, and I'm working part-time at the campus bookstore while studying. We can't even afford a car, we both take the bus everywhere. Our furniture is all secondhand, and we have to budget every penny. Having a baby right now would be financially irresponsible. The breaking point came last week. I was looking for my phone charger in her bedside drawer, where we usually keep them, when I found her birth control pills hidden under some papers. They were still sealed in their packages. She hadn't taken them for at least 2 months. We'd talked about her being on birth control as an extra precaution along with condoms, and she'd been pretending to take them this whole time. When I confronted her, she broke down crying. Through her tears, she admitted she'd stopped taking them hoping she'd accidentally get pregnant. She said she's afraid I'll never be ready, that I'll keep finding excuses to wait, and that she's wasting her best years waiting for me to grow up. She actually said that getting pregnant would force me to step up and be the man she knows I can be. I was furious. We had the biggest fight of our relationship. I told her that trying to trap me with a baby was completely unacceptable and a massive breach of trust. She fired back, saying I was selfish for making her wait when I knew from the start how badly she wanted kids. She threw my gambling history in my face, saying if I could waste money on betting I could afford to support a family. She stormed out and went to stay with Rachel. She came back 3 days later, acting like nothing happened, but still bringing up babies every chance she gets. Rachel keeps texting me, saying I'm being unreasonable and that Nicole's biological clock is ticking. Even my mom, who I made the mistake of confiding in, suggested that maybe Nicole's right and I'm overthinking it. Mom said she and Dad weren't ready when they had me, but they figured it out. I love Nicole, and the thought of losing her kills me, but this situation is making me question everything. Every time I look at her now, I wonder if she's still trying to get pregnant behind my back. I've started keeping my condoms in a locked drawer, which feels ridiculous in a supposedly trusting relationship. Am I wrong for wanting to wait? Should I give in to keep her happy? Or should I end things now before it gets worse? Any advice would be appreciated. Update 1 first, thank you all for the overwhelming support on my original post. Your comments really helped me see the situation more clearly. Unfortunately, things have gotten even more complicated, and I need to get this off my chest. After reading your advice, I decided to try one more time to have a serious conversation with Nicole about boundaries and trust. I sat her down last weekend and laid everything out, my concerns about finances, my career goals, and most importantly, how her actions had broken my trust. The conversation actually seemed to go well at first. Nicole was calm and receptive, unlike her recent emotional outbursts. She apologized for stopping her birth control without telling me and admitted it was wrong to try to trap me into fatherhood. We talked for hours about our future plans. She said she understood why I wanted to wait until after graduation, and we agreed to revisit the topic in 3 years. She even suggested we could start setting aside money now for our future family. I felt relieved, thinking we'd finally reached an understanding. That relief lasted exactly 4 days. On Wednesday, my cousin Jake called me. He seemed uncomfortable and asked if I was excited about the wedding plans. I had no idea what he was talking about. That's when everything started unraveling. Apparently, my mom and Nicole had been secretly meeting for months, planning what they called a surprise wedding for us. Their logic was that once we were married, I'd naturally want kids right away. Jake only knew because his wife works at one of the wedding venues they'd been looking at. They'd already booked appointments with caterers, picked out color schemes, and even started a guest list. My mom had offered to pay for everything, draining her retirement savings if necessary, all to push this family-starting agenda. When I confronted my mom, her response floored me. Instead of apologizing for going behind my back, she defended her actions. She said she was trying to help because Nicole had been coming to her in tears for months, talking about how desperate she was for a baby. Mom revealed that they'd been having weekly lunch meetings where they'd look at baby clothes and plan my surprise future. The betrayal cut deep. My mom knows about our financial struggles. She lived through Dad's job loss and knows how it affected me. Yet here she was, actively working to pressure me into a situation I'm not ready for. She even had the audacity to say, "Sometimes men need a little push to do the right thing." As if trapping me into marriage and fatherhood was somehow the right thing. But it gets worse. When I confronted Nicole about all this, her reaction showed me a side of her I'd never seen before. Instead of showing remorse, she got defensive and tried to turn it around on me. She said she was taking initiative because I was dragging my feet about our future. She actually tried to justify going behind my back by saying it was romantic and that I was ruining a beautiful surprise. During our argument, more truth came out. Nicole had been telling her family and our mutual friends a completely different version of our relationship. According to her, I had promised we'd start trying for a baby right after marriage. She'd been painting me as the one who changed his mind and was going back on his word. No wonder her sister Rachel has been so hostile toward me lately. The extent of her manipulation became clear when I checked social media. Rachel had posted a long rant about men who waste women's time and the cruelty of leading someone on when you know they want a family. The post was filled with supportive comments from our mutual friends, all assuming I was the bad guy who'd betrayed poor Nicole. Nicole's other sister, Claire, even messaged me saying I should be man enough to give Nicole what she wants since I promised her. When I tried to explain that I never made such promises, Claire accused me of gaslighting Nicole. It feels like I'm going crazy. Everyone seems to believe Nicole's version of events, even though it's completely false. I couldn't stay in our apartment after discovering all this. The thought of sleeping next to someone who'd been systematically manipulating me and my family was too much. I packed some essentials and moved in temporarily with my college buddy, Mark. Nicole's been alternating between flooding my phone with tearful apologies and angry accusations. Her latest message really got to me. She said if I don't come home and grow up, she'll find someone else who's ready to start a family. Part of me wants to call her bluff, but another part is terrified she means it. We've built a life together over the past 2 years, and the thought of losing her still hurts, despite everything. But how can I trust her again after this? She didn't just lie about one thing, she created an entire false narrative about our relationship and turned my own mother against me. I've barely slept in days. My finals are coming up, and I should be studying, but I can't focus. Every time my phone buzzes, my heart races, wondering if it's another guilt-tripping message from Nicole or my mom. Mark suggested changing my number, but that feels like giving up. Nicole's sister Claire keeps trying to mediate the situation, but her idea of mediation seems to be telling me to apologize and give Nicole what she wants. She doesn't understand that this isn't just about having kids anymore, it's about trust, respect, and honesty. Right now, I'm trying to focus on my studies and figure out my next move. The lease on our apartment is in both our names, so moving out permanently would be complicated. Plus, I can't afford a place on my own while paying for school. I feel trapped, both financially and emotionally. How do you trust someone again after they try to manipulate you into such a huge life decision? And how do I deal with my mom's betrayal? She was always the person I counted on to understand my side of things, but now I feel like I've lost her too. Update 2: Everything has completely imploded since my last update. I thought I'd seen the worst of Nicole's manipulation, but I wasn't even close. After my last post, I decided to take some time to focus on my finals and think things through. I was still staying at Mark's place, trying to maintain some distance while figuring out what to do about our apartment lease. Then last Tuesday, Nicole showed up at my university. I was walking into my advanced calculus class when I heard someone crying hysterically in the hallway. There was Nicole, holding what looked like a pregnancy test, surrounded by a group of concerned students. When she saw me, she started sobbing louder, saying things like, "How could you abandon us? And your baby needs you." I was completely blindsided. We hadn't been intimate since I discovered the birth control incident. The timeline made no sense. But Nicole was putting on such a convincing show, clutching her stomach and talking about morning sickness, that even my classmates were giving me dirty looks. Campus security had to escort her out when she refused to leave, screaming about how I was abandoning my family. The incident spread like wildfire through campus. My professors heard about it. Other students were whispering about me in class. Someone even posted a video of Nicole's meltdown on the university student forum. I was mortified and confused, but something about her story didn't add up. That's when Claire, Nicole's middle sister, reached out to me. Unlike Rachel, who's been publicly bashing me on social media, Claire has stayed mostly neutral throughout this drama. She asked to meet me at a coffee shop off campus, saying there were things I needed to know. What Claire revealed shook me to my core. Not only was Nicole not pregnant, but she had bought a positive pregnancy test from someone on Facebook Marketplace. Claire showed me the messages between her and Nicole, discussing the plan to scare me straight. Nicole had been planning this public confrontation for weeks, choosing my busiest day on campus for maximum impact. But that wasn't even the worst part. The messages revealed a months-long campaign of manipulation that made my stomach turn. Nicole had joined multiple online forums about getting pregnant without partner's consent. She'd been getting advice about poking holes in condoms and tracking ovulation cycles. Claire had tried to talk her out of it, warning her it was reproductive coercion, but Nicole was convinced it was the only way to keep me. There were detailed discussions about her plans, everything from which professors' classes would be best for her pregnancy announcement. She'd actually researched their backgrounds to find the ones most likely to sympathize with her, to how she would handle it if I demanded a paternity test. She had a backup plan to claim I was accusing her of cheating to deflect from my abandonment. Claire felt guilty about not warning me sooner, but Nicole had sworn her to secrecy, using their childhood trauma to manipulate her. "You know what it's like to not be supported by family," she'd written to Claire. "Are you really going to betray me too?" Armed with Claire's evidence, I confronted Nicole. I forwarded her all the screenshots and demanded an explanation. She showed up at Mark's place that night, completely unraveled. Through tears, she admitted everything: the fake pregnancy, the forums, the planned confrontation at school. But instead of apologizing, she tried to blame me for making her do these things. "If you'd just given me what I wanted," she said, "I wouldn't have had to go to such extremes." Then came the real bombshell. She'd been seeing her ex, Tom, for the past few weeks. He was understanding about her need for a family and ready to step up in ways I wasn't. She actually tried to frame her cheating as my fault, saying I'd driven her to him with my selfish desire to wait for kids. My mom finally saw Nicole's true colors after the fake pregnancy stunt became public. She called me crying, apologizing for her part in everything. But the damage to our relationship is done. Every time I think about how she conspired with Nicole, how she dismissed my concerns and tried to pressure me into marriage, I feel sick. We're barely speaking now. The fallout has been intense. Nicole's been telling everyone who'll listen that I drove her to desperate measures with my commitment issues. Some people actually believe her, suggesting that I must have led her on or misled her about wanting a family. The video of her pregnancy meltdown is still circulating, with people debating in the comments about whether I'm a jerk for abandoning her. I've started looking for my own place, even though it'll stretch my finances thin. Mark's been great, but I can't crash with him forever. The whole experience has left me questioning everything. How did I not see Nicole's true nature earlier? How many other lies did I believe? Update 3: This will be my final update. A lot has happened since my last post, and I feel like I owe you all some closure after the support you've shown me through this nightmare. After the fake pregnancy scandal, I managed to break the lease on our old apartment. The property manager was surprisingly understanding when I showed him the campus security report and explained the situation. I found a small studio across town. It's nothing fancy, but it's mine, and more importantly, it's Nicole-free. Nicole finally moved out of our old place last month. She didn't go quietly. She tried to take furniture we'd bought together and even took my old PlayStation, claiming it was compensation for emotional damage. I let her keep it. The peace of mind was worth more than any stuff. The most surreal part? She's already living with Tom, her ex. Their social media is full of pictures of them looking at houses and visiting baby stores. She's posting long paragraphs about how everything happens for a reason and how she's finally with someone who shares her values. Tom's in for a rough awakening, but that's not my problem anymore. Rachel, Nicole's older sister, is still on a warpath. She sends me nasty messages from new accounts every few weeks, blaming me for destroying her sister's life plans. According to her latest rant, I've robbed Nicole of her prime fertility years and should pay for her future fertility treatments. I've blocked about a dozen accounts so far. Claire, the middle sister who exposed everything, actually apologized again recently. She revealed more about their family dynamics. Apparently Nicole's obsession with having kids young stems from their mom's frequent comments about regretting having Nicole so late. Their mom would often say things like, "If I'd had you earlier, I would have had more energy to be a better mother." No wonder Nicole's so messed up about age and motherhood. The hardest part has been rebuilding my relationship with my mom. We're talking again, but things are different. She came to visit last week, and we had a long, painful conversation about trust and boundaries. She admitted that seeing Nicole's manipulation made her realize how she'd also tried to control my life decisions. She's starting to understand why I'm so adamant about being financially stable before having kids. My studies took a hit during all this drama. My GPA dropped, but I'm slowly bringing it back up. Some professors gave me extensions after the campus incident, which helped. I'm still on track to graduate, just with less room for error now. What really helped me move forward was finding a local gambling support group. After everything with Nicole, I noticed my old urges creeping back. Instead of giving in, I channeled that energy into group meetings and picking up extra shifts at work. Building an emergency fund has become my new obsession, way healthier than my old habits. I've had a few people suggest I start dating again, but I'm not ready. This experience has shown me how important it is to really know yourself and your boundaries before committing to someone else. I'm focusing on finishing my degree and building the stable life I always wanted. Looking back, all the red flags were there. I just didn't want to see them. Nicole's intensity about having kids wasn't just about wanting a family, it was about control and filling some void from her childhood. I hope she gets help, but that's not my responsibility anymore. To everyone who told me I was being responsible and not selfish, thank you. You helped me stand firm when everything was falling apart. And to anyone in a similar situation, trust your gut. Don't let anyone rush you into life-changing decisions you're not ready for. I won't be updating again. Time to close this chapter and focus on building the future I want, on my own terms.